All right, we're in the house. Black Power is the general, y'all. Y'all know y'all about to get that gas now. It's about global African supremacy. You understand what I'm saying? The uprise and the coming of rulership for our people in all areas of existence, spiritually, physically, mentally. You understand? It's about that gas, so I can guarantee you that this is a gas certified lesson today, not just for a motherfucker to put it up on the shelf or none of that. It's about making it real, making it a part of your life and existence. So family, thank you for being in the house. If you're African, you's a blessed individual. Okay, today I want y'all to check me out. KingSeti.com online marketplace. You understand? Official General Seti DVD lectures, classic, newly released. You understand what I'm saying? All the classics that you know and love. You need to get on over there, t-shirts and hoodies. You understand? For the kings and the queens. We got queen t-shirts, men t-shirt. So get on over there and check me out. Guaranteed we got some new joints coming up there real soon. I know it's going to empower the family. We got African and Kemetic jewelry, Neteru necklaces, bracelets, earrings for the kings. We got much jewels and gems for the kings too. So get on over there and check it out. We also got holistic tonics and remedies, immune boosters for the family out there trying to keep these vampires from spreading that plague on them. And so get on over there and get you some, man. Home decor. We got things for your dining room, for the kitchen, all of that. Incense and oils, all of that. Get on over there, KingSeti.com. And also ring the alarm, KingSeti, GeneralSeti.com. Seti University of Ancient and Modern African Wisdom and Knowledge. Over 800 lectures and videos on the site. Too raw for YouTube, bam, videos. We got Plague Central over there because, they blocking everything you put up about the plague. So you got to go. Plague Central is at Seti University, the making of the white man, which y'all did not heed. That's why your ass is in the predicament you're in today. Freemasonry, occult science, symbology, all world religions, geography, geology, black power, politics, and economics, astronomy, cosmology, highlights from over 50 cities, General Seti, street battles, behind the scene footage, Seti with the master teachers, ancient civilization, mythology, and much, much more. You understand? And I will, I'm just uploading, constantly on the site. So you could, this is the Black Netflix, the one you really need in your life with so much research, visual documentation is ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? So get on over there to GeneralSeti.com. My Patreon, General Sarasu Seti, got hot joints going up. This one is going up. We doing the live stream Wednesday, Occult Origins of the Kemetic Plague 2, Patreon. You want to see that work? Get on over there. You understand? Can't do it on YouTube. You understand? Because, they scared of the truth. And once you start seeing a lot of the symbolisms is more truth than the surface truth. What you think is symbolisms in the cult is actually more truth than the surface truth that you niggas believe in. So you have to see it, and once you see it, and then you take it to heart, and you research it and meditate on it, you see that is the truth. So check me out, Patreon, General Sarasu and Seti. Make sure, see, y'all already know Seti Live is lit. You know what I'm saying? You need to subscribe. And, to all my YouTube pages, General Seti, Sarasu Seti, and King Seti, which got the master teachers on there. You see what I'm saying? Letting y'all know I give much love and respect and honor the masters that came before Seti. And you need to plug in, too, so you can have some foundation so when niggas get to tripping out here, you got something to stand on. Subscribe to all my YouTube pages. Hit that notification bell. Get the videos a thumbs up, like it because you love it. Now, I just came out of doing a very powerful one over on Sarasu and Seti, Set, the first supreme deity of ancient Egypt. You can get over there and check it out if you have not checked it out. That motherfucker fire. I'm going to have to do a part 2 to it. You understand? Because it's laying like that. You understand? And this is an extension today because it go right on off into, what we was talking about. You know what I'm saying? But today, in this manifestation, we're going to be dealing with the great African pyramid builders. And this is not even actually my flyer. Where is that? But this is the same. This is the same teaching, just a different flyer. I want my flyer that I have for this. Particularly, here it is right here. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. Bingo. Bingo. If I had to do a part 2 to this, which I probably will, because, I don't want to, rush through it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to give you information overload. And so when we start talking about, let's go right off into it. When you're talking about, number one, the pyramid builders. Okay, you're talking about the pyramid. Let me come on out of there. Matter of fact, let me plug this out. You talking about the pyramid builders. You talking about, now, we already know that these dates is manufactured. We know that. You understand what I'm saying? You can't let the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal give you some goddamn dates and he just, stood up on 2 legs damn near 2 days ago. In 2 days from going back on them, and many of them already on all fours. And so you cannot take no timeline from a motherfucker that just came about the cave 2 days ago. And so they always trying to, put you in a trick bag to lessen your power and the extent of your greatness by diminishing, the actuality of how ancient you are as a people. Okay? So we know goddamn well when you start, anybody been to the pyramid, even if you seen it on goddamn TV, you know damn well, ain't no damn pyramid, that's, I seen it for myself. Is at least, you understand what I'm saying, 500,000 years of architectural evolution, okay? It's over at least 500,000 years, at minimum, of architectural evolution. You understand what I'm saying? Because it cannot be duplicated even unto this day. And will never be duplicated until we get in our right mind. They will never be able to duplicate it because they on their way out already. You could go to any area. You can go to the Burj Khalifa and all of that shit. You get that shit goddamn 100 years, and if they don't keep that shit up, the sand will overtake that and eat that shit down to nothingness. You understand what I'm saying? To nothingness. Eat it down. Every damn so-called skyscraper, you can say, oh, how beautiful, yeah. Don't mind, let this shit fall down, and within 200-300 years, you won't see not one piece of that shit. You see what I'm saying? And so even though, you got some taller structures together, they are not as magnificent. When you talk about megalithic, where just so, the presence of it is so massive. You see what I'm saying? That it just dwarfs the mind on how it was constructed. And so when we talking about the old kingdom, you basically starting with the 3rd dynasty. So damn, in two damn dynasties, they developed this knowledge. No, we know that this was going on much earlier. And I got my, hypothesis, which is backed up by a lot of facts. You understand what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I say my theory. I ain't gonna say no hypothesis. You were gonna say a theory because I got some cold motherfucking facts to back that up. So they ain't just no goddamn, just no damn no theory, no hypothesis. Now a lot of people don't understand, because they so busy, watching ancient aliens and reading all these crazy ass crackers, just like that cat that was out there in California. He looking up in the sky and shit, and this, that, and the third, and shit, and got these motherfuckers severing their phalluses and shit, committing suicide and shit. You got damn Charles Manson and all these crazy ass motherfuckers. All these motherfuckers. It's nothing wrong with being cosmological. There's nothing wrong with being astronomical. But when your ass got an elevator that only go up and ain't no down button on that motherfucker, you just up and away. Ain't no coming down for you niggas. And so every time, because you have not done the research, which my beloved teachers have done this research, like the Grand Master Dr. Joseph Ben Yakanan, which I do have a video that I'm going to be doing very soon on the Master, to reveal that you niggas is eating on his legacy. And you niggas is going sideways with his biting off of his legacy, going sideways, teaching garbage and shit in light of the truth already being exposed by the master teachers. See, that's a crime, especially when our peoples is in the state that they in. It's a crime when our master teachers and the great mistress teachers, have waken us up to the truth, and motherfuckers turn around because they ignorant of the knowledge of self. These are some t-shirt and necklace niggas. You understand what I'm saying? They are not bound in no real research. And when they call out a damn reference, they always calling out a Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. You see what I'm saying? And so the evidence is they already have enough evidence in ancient Egypt and many of the models and this, that, and the third. And just because you don't know how it was done, don't mean you can just up and say some goddamn aliens came to motherfucker. You don't even damn near barely know how to spell your name and put it on a goddamn piece of paper. Majority of motherfuckers can't even motherfucking write their fucking name on a piece of paper legibly where a motherfucker can understand it. And so you know what I mean? So, everything that you're not aware of and, have the true knowledge of, then you could just give up, and create sources and create origins to this information and this knowledge just up out of your ass, up out of the just snatching answers out of the air. When master teachers and mistress teachers who have done the research and are field researchers, I'm not talking about no armchair nigga. You understand what I'm saying? With his arms on the chair reading, you can read all the books you want, but until you go, and even if you do go, but at least you got to go to say you saw it. Majority of these motherfuckers ain't even seen it. And then even if you went, goddamn it, who did you go with? Because many of you motherfuckers be going with some motherfuckers that don't even know who the hell the fuck they are. Many of you go with the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal. And you gonna get over there and they gonna say Joseph and goddamn Moses and the Hebrews had something to do with it. And so you got to be clear that that's why you must go to the master teachers. And I'll go with Dr. Joseph Ben Yakanan first. A lot of other cats, and they might, and I give reverence to all the teachers. Don't get me twisted. But it was Dr. Ben that woke us up to the Nile Valley. It was Dr. Ben that went on the goddamn ground all over the world and went from, all these schools and universities, churches, wherever he could teach, him and Dr. Clark. But when we talk about the Nile Valley, we're talking about Dr. Ben, period. They was over here talking about Asalam of Fakum and this, that, and the third. Well, nobody over here talking about no ancient Egypt. And like a lot of there's a lot of great scholars like Sheikh Diop and Chancellor Williams. And yeah, but goddamn it, you wouldn't even know none of them damn scholars. What need you need for those scholars if Dr. Ben hadn't woke you up and made you look to Egypt? You understand? As a part of your culture. Who made you, because that's when you're talking about up until that point, you're talking about, we were, predominantly the thought was, some form of Islam. You understand what I'm saying? Black Islam, Islam, black Islam. Either, most of the cats in hip hop was some form of a 5% or this, that, and the third. And, what was considered at that time the conscious movement was the Nation of Islam or this, that, and the third. So it was an Islamic frame of reference. Who came in and tore a rift in the cosmos and tore that rift in the cosmos and say, no, we are African people. We descended from the beginners of the Nile and went all up, because it's one thing to write a book, but it's another thing to go on the ground. You understand? Rocking this information from city to city. You understand? Going in the area strategically, making sure that these people get a message that they have never heard before. It was the Grand Master Joseph Ben Yakanan that did that shit. And I'm here to tell y'all niggas that. And so when we talk about pilgrimages to Egypt, well, no niggas going to Egypt. I don't give a fuck if you've been today. I don't care how many letters you think you know, or this, that, I don't care how many aunts you got on your chest, nigga. I don't care how much incense you burn in your fucking house, how many posters you put up on the wall. If it was not for Dr. Yosef Ben Yakana, who is the opener of the way, then he was the one that manifested the pilgrimages to ancient Egypt. That does not mean that there wasn't African individuals. You understand what I'm saying? Who could have, got a hold, but that's a very small number that could have got a hold of a Drusilla Dungy or Children of the Sun or J.A. Rogers' book or one of these other scholars and took her in. We're talking about in a mass movement, a mass consciousness. You see what I'm saying? And so the Grand Master was the one that woke us up to the grand consciousness of where we at today, but we're going backwards. You understand what I'm saying? So the pilgrimages is accredited, which was taken over by the master teacher Ashraf Quasi and his wife, Mary Rod, Mother Mary Rod Quasi. You see what I'm saying? And they done it for over 30-some odd years. But Ashraf Quasi is a student of Dr. Ben, so even that is a continuation down of the legacy. You see what I'm saying? And I had an opportunity to study under both, including Dr. John Henry Clark, including the Master Walter Williams. So I done been touched by a whole lot, but I guarantee you one thing, it was the Grand Master. And so this is the teaching as he taught to me. You understand what I'm saying? This is how I know what I know right here when I start talking about the pyramid. Because he showed me how they was constructed. He showed me the development stage of the pyramid, so no motherfucker could tell you no goddamn E.T. came from outer space and came down here and brought some fucking knowledge and used some, you got, the thing is about ancient Egypt, one of the most precious things that they stole out of Egypt is not necessarily the largest thing. We look at all these, the stone statues and this, that, and the third, but in a lot of these temples and in a lot of these tombs, they had what you call models of life in ancient Egypt. And so that's what they really stole. You understand what I'm saying? They left models. I mean, it's like when, you ever been to some of these toy conferences where they just had a whole damn floor just like with railroads and, train tracks and shit, and they build these models and it'd be like a whole damn city and shit. They got buildings and you could just watch it. And so that's really, how it was. They laid it out, of what they was doing on a daily basis, and many times they make the models and show you exactly what was going on. So ain't nowhere in no model where they show no goddamn ETs landing and building, they are showing them, because if the ET had high technology, why did they go through a stage of development like that? What the fuck? I mean, if you're going to give it to me, give it to me. You understand what I'm saying? But you see that there's a stage of development, and what a lot of people don't understand, how did they get to that stage so quickly, is because most of our people don't understand. If you look at a lot of the temples, like in Lalibela, even Abu Simbel, where they just cut directly into the mountain. You understand what I'm saying? These was, I believe the earliest way in which they manifested a lot of their sacred temples. You understand, where they carved directly into a lot of these mountains. You understand what I'm saying? So it wasn't like you cut the block out and then you, like with the pyramid, and you come and lay the block, on top of a block. No, you just carved it directly into the mountain. You see what I'm saying? So that was the way. It's almost like a reverse technology. Now they got a pyramid, not a pyramid, but a temple in India that they call Colossia Temple. It's no different than Abu Simbel or any where you carve directly into the mountain, or Lalibela. You carve the mountain down. You understand what I'm saying? Into the architectural design that you want. And so when you got down into Egypt, you didn't have the mountains up south that you got, you didn't have that in Egypt. And so in order to duplicate or replicate, you understand what I'm saying? They had to reverse the technology and they had to cut the blocks out, which they're removing a lot of stone to get these temples to look like they look. So they into moving shit. You see what I'm saying? They into moving heavy stone. But now they got to, reverse the technology and they got to cut it out perfectly, which they already into perfection, because once you start cutting into a mountain, you cannot be, it ain't like you got, you just can just start all over. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to have to find a whole nother mountain, because if you fuck this one up, you ain't going to be able to put it back. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to be perfect when you cutting this design into the temple. We're going to get off into it. We're going to see some things. You see what I'm saying? So, a lot of stone was removed just to get these structures to look like they look. So they was into dealing with heavy stone, but it was a reverse technology. And so by the time they got down into Egypt being primarily, desert, you understand what I'm saying, outside of the Nile, and there was, some form of mountains as you go further up the river. You understand? Like in Waset, you had the Valley of the Kings. You even had, Hatshepsut's burial, a funerary temple was also carved into the mountain. They carved directly into the mountain. But whereas down in, where you talking about down in Memphis and then, where they built the Great Pyramid, there wasn't. So they had to bring a lot of that stone and sell it down the river. But they were highly advanced in, another way in order to do that. They wasn't just starting at that time. You understand? They were not just starting at that time. You see what I'm saying? They had been off into high technology for hundreds of thousands of years. You understand what I'm saying? Just like I, discussed, that the culture of Set existed before Horus, existed before Osir. That's our Set came out of the south. You understand what I'm saying? Ptah and God Best, Khnum, Aset, Anuket, all came out of the south. These were southern deities. Osiris is a latter deity, still an African deity, one of the most revered deities of all of the world, but he's a latter deity. And even when you're dealing with Set, there's culture that exists even before that. You see what I'm saying? And we don't understand that because they got us starting at the end of the fucking book. See, when you're talking about Egypt, you're talking about the last chapter of the book. And you cannot open up the last chapter of the book and confuse yourself. That is the first chapter. You see, and that's what's happening. And so you see right here, we went over again, that the great river, the Nile River, flowing from the south down north. You see, and a lot of people think the Africa is upside down. No, nigga, you upside down. It's top side up. And the reason why, because our people came down the river from the top, from the southern regions, which is up south. When you talking about the criminally renamed lake that they call Victoria, it's up south. Egypt is down north, because we sailed down the river. So Egypt is at the bottom. The criminally renamed lake, which is the central part of Africa is the beginning of the river. You see what I'm saying? And he who controls the source of the river is master. Y'all got to understand that. He who controls the source of the river is master. You see? And so when you talk about, we're going to be dealing with one of the earliest constructions before they get to the pyramid, which is the mastaba. Okay? And the mastaba is just a single story building. You understand? If you look at the pyramid of Imhotep, if you just take the first level, that's a mastaba. You know, it was mastabas at Saqqara. I went into the mastaba of Kemet. I went into another mastaba. I went into a couple of master, but they're just a single story. And so, we're going to get off into where Imhotep designs the first multi-level mastaba. And I have to say that because to be correct, and I have to be geometrically correct, because there's a lot of people out here calling shit a pyramid. And I had a paper with my damn, all my statistics on it, which I left in the other room. Damn it, I should run in there and get it, because I'm going to need that. Let me go get that piece of paper, y'all. All right, family, I got it. I had to get this shit. There's a lot of, it's a lot of things, a lot of, shit that they call pyramids that are not pyramids. Because geometrically, a pyramid comes to a goddamn point. You understand what I'm saying? And so I had to say that when you look at Imhotep, even though it's coming up in layers, and he didn't fill it in. He didn't feel they're not coming to a point as I could see it. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're talking about geometrically, a pyramid is a triangle. And so when you look at Imhotep, that's for me, this is how I teach. It's a multi-level mastaba. You see what I'm saying? Where he stacked more mastabas on top of it. But they trying to get to the true pyramid. It was Seneferu, who was the father of Khufu, who actually with the red pyramid got to the first true pyramid, okay, geometrically, you see, but that's not taking nothing from Imhotep, because Imhotep the greatest, you know what I'm saying? He the one that started the age of the pyramid, but they started with what we call the mastaba, which is so we're looking at the development, and what's clear, what y'all got to understand, this right here is the first dynasty and the second dynasty. You got some first and some second dynasty here. Let me see how many. 1 through 8, all kings from first dynasty. 9, Peribsen from the second dynasty. Number 9, he's from the second dynasty. Oh, no. Outside pick to the left. Castle Kimwe is also, where he at? They must ain't show it. Where is it? Castle Kimwe, he also got a burial in this. This is the oldest royal cemetery at Abydos. And that right there show you, even though the kings ruled at Memphis, they came to Abydos, they came deep south. Because Abydos is about 500-600 miles from Memphis. They came back to the land of their ancestors to be buried. Now, when you look at, this is the first dynasty. When you look at these burials, and now, look at look at the rooms. You understand what I'm saying? Look at how high, the first, he's down at the bottom to the right with the red. Look how many rooms. You're talking about each one of them rooms, and you're talking about a mastaba. It might have been more than one. You know what I'm saying? He might have it might have been 5-6 mastabas on top of all of these storerooms. You understand what I'm saying? And so I mean, this is the first dynasty, so even it's nowhere in the ancient world. I'm telling you this so that you can know it. You could go to Greece, you could go to Rome, you could talk about some fucking Hebrews, some Arabs, you could talk about any code. Nowhere in the ancient world can you go at this time in the first dynasty, the first, and find every king's tomb. And they did. You would think that they would have some little hole in the ground. And these goddamn, look at these tombs and what was inside of them, the wealth and so on and so forth. And what connected them to the South is that when, you know, I seen some, you know, people on talking about the crystal incense burner. I said, motherfucker, you know, I'm looking at the shit and people trying to debate the crystal incense burner. Man, when they went to Crystal, they got tools that look just like these. That's how they knew it. You understand what I'm saying? They got they tools, which I can show you, were constructed just like the tombs of the first dynasty and had, you know, almost as many rooms. So when you got these many rooms, and what you think they put in these storerooms, all type of furniture, all type of vases, all type of jewels, you know what I'm saying? So imagine finding a tomb like this with all these storerooms full of all of this. So you know whoever went down there and went in there then stole, even in the first dynasty. They not just getting started. They already ancient at this time. They more advanced than Greece or Rome at the end of their civilization. Let alone the beginning, at the end. You see? Find me one. And so we talking about minis, and you could debate. That man look just like Mike Tyson, man. Look just like Mike Tyson from the side. You see what I'm saying? And so if you go to the glyph, and so some people say, aha, or, you know, and so they, you know, and so this is his tomb there. Now you got to understand, I'm going to show you what a master box, and so you can see the different storerooms. He, you know, they had just storeroom. And so where is he at? I believe he's down there at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? He's down there at the bottom. So you just see him right. If you look at it, you see him in red. Aha, I believe that's aha, aha. You see what I'm saying? And so you can see right there 2 of the, you know, 3 of the rooms, and you see them right here at the top in red. You understand? You see how large they is. And so the thing is, even, you know, they had some form of very sophisticated brick. You know what I'm saying? To be able to last, I mean, it's almost 5,000 years, family. Even on the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal timeline. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, we got to quit letting these people steal our history with these biblical Quranic lies and shit. You understand what I'm saying? If they were ever in Egypt and they were trained, they say Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. God damn it, we should see some tombs like this in Israel. We should see, I mean, we shouldn't be looking for the tomb of David and the tomb of Solomon and the tomb. If you was in Egypt and you got any of this goddamn knowledge, we should be able to see tombs. God damn it, even if they knock the shit down on above the ground, there still should be some evidence below the ground. And they keep coming up with this fake shit, always finding a coin, or you understand what I'm saying, a little box and shit, say Jesus' name on it. God damn, he the only motherfucker with that name. Damn, you know what I'm saying? God damn, you know, come on now. And so, you know, so you see right here, Jir, you understand, he's in the first dynasty. Look at the tomb. Look at the tomb. Look how long the tomb is. Where is he at up top? He's number 2. You see, you know, right to the left of Aha, you see Jir, you understand, in the green. Look at that. Look at how extensive he is. Look at all the moons. So if you look right next to the green storeroom, you see the long a rectangular one. Look how many rooms is in that. Look at and he would have structures on top of that. You know what I'm saying? So you talking about, if you would have seen the structures, this was a very sophisticated area. This is not the beginning of nothing, because this is greater than anything that you can find anywhere in any other civilization. Greece, Rome, Arabia, India included. Even India, you cannot find nothing at this date and time of this sophistication. Matter of fact, you know, it's a couple of civilizations, maybe, but damn, you talking about thousands of years after this, to get this type of sophistication. You know what I'm saying? And so you see here the great, and so now we looking at something here. We looking at even before the early stone mastabas, because what you looking at, if you look all the way to the right at the top, you see early stone mastaba, and then you have royal tomb, first dynasty. You see what I'm saying? And so some of them had mastabas on top of that. Okay, but as you go up the river, you understand, even earlier than that, everybody couldn't get the royal mastaba. You had just the average individual that had some of the pre-dynastic, but even then, that still, they was sophisticated. Even for the average individual. The goddamn Greeks and Romans didn't have no goddamn graves. They just dropped where they was, and the vultures ate their ass, or whatever carnivorous, the wolves and shit ate there. They didn't have no concepts of burials. They said they was nomadic people. They set their damn bodies on fire and shit. They didn't have no, where they was going to come back to this area and this, that, and the third. They could keep moving and never come back to the area at all. They might come passing and might forget where the fuck they put the goddamn, because they didn't have no sophistication of tombstones and shit that could last for long periods of time. And so they didn't have these concepts. And so one of the clear things that when they put the Africans down in the tomb, that they had them in the fetal position. You see what I'm saying? Which is going back into the Great Mother. It shows the evidence of the worship of the Black Mother, the Black goddess from time immemorial, that she was the first deity of worship based on the evidence in the burial. You see what I'm saying? And so you can look at the, even from the pre-dynastic burial to the royal tomb, first dynasty, and even some of those had mastabas on top of them. Evident. One of the queens, what's that thing? I believe her name was Monique, who was also in the first, if I believe she was in the first dynasty. Let me go back up there. Mariette Neef. Mariette Neef. Okay, she had a mastaba. So you talking about, you had a lot of people talk about Amos Nefertari. They talk about Nefertari. They talk about Atiba. Many of them don't show and prove that you had Mariette Neef, which is in the first dynasty, that already was being venerated as a sovereign. You know what I'm saying? She ruled in the first dynasty. You understand what I'm saying? Either as a co-regent, but she wouldn't be over there, you understand, amongst unless she was a sovereign ruler. You understand? We know that for a fact. So you had a very powerful queen ruling in the first dynasty. Where you gonna get that? Anywhere else on the planet. You understand what I'm saying? And so you see that up under the mastaba, the burial design remained the same all the way down into the Great Pyramid. You understand what I'm saying? It remained the same. Now, when you go to the second level, you see the early step tomb, and you see the tomb but it looks like it's actually a mastaba on top, and then in front of the mastaba, you got a stairway that lead down to the actual tomb. In the early stone mastaba at the top, and even in the second row, the royal pyramid tomb, you see it's a shaft where they lowered the sarcophagus down, and they will put it in place over to the left. But when you look at the early step tomb, you see it's actually stairway that lead down to it, and that's actually the Nubian way. If you look at the pyramids in Nubia, they are not buried within the tomb. The pyramid is on top, and then there's another stairway chamber that leads down to the area of burial, which I'm gonna show you. And so when you're looking at how the development of it, it's the same. You understand what I'm saying? It's the very same. And so you're going to see how it develops and how they fail to get to the true, how many failures they had before they get to the true pyramid. You see what I'm saying? They were working their way, but they were failing at it. And that's the grandeur, because so we could show the development, that it didn't just come down and no goddamn alien, struck no laser beam to the earth and shit and came down here and built no damn pyramid. So when you again showing you the mastaba, if you look inside of the step pyramid of Saqqara, you can see the mastaba is inside and how he developed on top of that. And as you can see, the steps, the step, and then the kings after and the architects after Imhotep began to fill in the steps to make it smooth, because a pyramid is smooth on all sides. So we got to be true to so that other people can't just, because a lot of people are saying pyramid, these motherfuckers are not pyramids. You see what I'm saying? And so only in Africa do you get the true pyramid. You understand? Let's be clear about that. And then, there's other areas, the Olmecs, and we love the Olmecs. Those are our people. But the one thing about the African pyramids versus the so-called pyramids of the Americas, that the African pyramids are freestanding. Most of it, if not all of the pyramids of the Americas got a mound up on it. It got, so if you look up the largest freestanding structures on the planet, those are not in it because they're not freestanding. You understand what I'm saying? If you got anything helping to hold the damn building up or anything, is considered not to be a freestanding structure. And so we got to quit letting people just take a word and dumb it down so they can act like they equal with us. No, they're not equal with us. So yeah, we love the Olmecs, and those are one of our greatest civilizations, and we honor that. You understand what I'm saying? But we got to let them. We got to separate the students from the masters. We have to do that. You understand what I'm saying? Again, if you look at the black structure in there, that's the mastaba, which I'm gonna show you. But as you can see up under there, you can see that the actual burial shaft up under the mastaba is the same as the one that's in the step pyramid, and is actually the same, even though it's been, a more advanced design, is actually the same burial in the Great Pyramid. So you're seeing that they developing up. Now, this is the Pyramid of Meidum. This is after, and we're going to get to the pictures. This is after Imhotep. You understand what I'm saying? Where they trying to fill the sides in. You understand? They trying to fill the steps in and actually make the true pyramid. And so this is the Pyramid of Meidum. It wasn't successful. It ended up falling down. We're going to get to a lot of the pictures after this. You see what I'm saying? And so you looking here and you looking at many of the great pyramid fields. You think it's just Giza, not Giza. You got Absur, you got Saqqara, you got Dashur, you got Lis, you got Meidum, you got Lehun, you got Hawara, even all the way down to Nuri and Nubia. You got Meroe. You got, what I'm saying, all the way. So you got pyramid fields all the way down the Nile. And so the thing is, when you're looking at this, what you got to understand, if you look at the development of the development is south of Giza. See, Giza is where they reach their apex, but all the failures is up the river. You see, as they coming down the river, they're developing. You see what I'm saying? They're developing. They're getting more people down, more architects. This is new land. You understand what I'm saying? This is fresh land so we are coming down. And so, yeah, we got to get the people down. That's just like when you get ready to go to war. You can't bring your whole army over at one time. You got to start bringing them down slow, and until you get them all down there, and then and it might be 6-7 months before you get all your soldiers to where you need to get them. You understand? It might be 6-7 months. Then they get to, what I'm saying? Then they get to cracking heads for real. You understand what I'm saying? So Egypt was developing, slowly developing. So yeah, you might see the mastodon. It wasn't like they didn't have the knowledge for the pyramid. They didn't have the people. They didn't have the architects. They was still up south. You had to convince people that this is a new land. We're gonna develop on top of it. And as they understand that Egypt is a military colony of Ethiopia to check vagabonds that was, coming onto the land, having incursions on the land. And so that's why Egypt was set up. You know what I'm saying? And much of what you call Egypt in the Delta was under the water. You understand what I'm saying? Majority of this, you call even, Absur, Memphis, all of that, Saqqara was under the water. You understand? It was Mena who went down there and put an S in the river to divert the water so that it would go west. You understand? And when the water receded, on top of that land that is where he built Memphis. There is no Egypt before Memphis. We got to understand that they keep saying some Egypt. Egypt technically started at Memphis. You understand what I'm saying? That's technically Egypt. Everything above Memphis is Ethiopia, period. And so the culture was already going on. So for anybody that's trying to figure out where the source of ancient Egypt come from, we could clearly show that. You see what I'm saying? Let me get this. This is the megapixels on this picture is so heavy. Let me get it up. Okay, good. And so you can see, number one, you see Zosha. That's the step pyramid. You see what I'm saying? That's the oldest stone structure above the ground. Now, many of the kings had some stone up under the ground. You understand? Just like you was looking at the mastodon, some of them early kings had stone, and that's why they lasted so long. So they might have had some baked mud bricks above the ground, but up under there they have some stone. And so they lasted and so you see number 2 was made doom. You see what I'm saying? Number 2 was made doom. And you can see it out there. It look, because the outer bricks fell down. You know what I'm saying? They was trying to, looking at the step pyramid, they trying to step up to the true pyramid, and they don't have the technology. They got technology, but they got to get that math together. You understand what I'm saying? They really pushing themselves at this time to do things that they haven't done before, even though they have the technology to do it. Like I said, they was carving into the mountains, which is almost reverse technology. You understand what I'm saying? So there's many temples that's been carved out there in the mountains that we just don't even know about, or we do know about, and they haven't told the people. That's just the truth of the matter. And so you look at a number 3, which is the bent pyramid. See them? You see they messing up. You see even the bent pyramid. That was a magnificent if they could have completed it. But because a lot of the calculations was off, when they got to a certain point, they knew that the pyramid was cracking. You know what I'm saying? And so they had to, they couldn't get up to the heights that they originally had for that pyramid. So they just cut it off on an angle that made it look bent. You see what I'm saying? So it looked bent, And so those are the failures. And then see, so that's a Neferu. But on that fourth one, at list where you see the red pyramid, that's at the first time that you get the true pyramid. And that's around 2600 BC. You understand what I'm saying? About 2600 BC, where you get that red pyramid. And so Seneferu built the bent pyramid, and a lot of people say he also had something to do with a Meidum pyramid. So if that's so, then he put more stone on the planet than any one pharaoh. You understand, with them three pyramids. And then when you got four, and where's the fifth after the red? That's not correct. Because after it should have been Khufu. Yes, it's right. Khufu should have been fifth. I don't know why I got them numbers like that. 5, 6, and 7. And actually, shit, I believe the red pyramid, they got that looking. Let me see. I don't got the height. I don't have the height of the red pyramid. I should have had it. The bent pyramid is 341 feet. Now, a story, if you're talking about, like they say, 20 stories or 30 stories, 10 feet is usually the average for a story. So, you talking about the bent pyramid, which is number 3, would have actually been 34 stories. If you go downtown, they say that's actually a 34-story building. Now, when you talking about in the Americas, the largest pyramid that's standing, they're gonna tell you about one, Tricola, which is probably, they say, is the large, that motherfucker on the ground, and it's a fucking hill. Okay, I don't want to hear nothing about. We talking about the one that's still standing at Teotihuacan, okay, which is 216 feet. The bent pyramid is the bent pyramid. Matter of fact, I believe Menkaura's pyramid is about the same size. So that Teotihuacan ain't even in the running for real. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't even in the running. The bent pyramid is actually larger. You see what I'm saying? Khufu's pyramid is 48 stories. That's almost 50 stories. Khafre, 448 feet, is actually 44 stories. You see, you talking about, man, these buildings stood as the tallest things on earth until damn near the the Eiffel Tower. You understand what I'm saying? Into the damn near the 19th, 20th century. So goddamn, when you talking about motherfuckers holding a record, you understand what I'm saying? Ain't nobody holding no records longer than that. That's the longest record ever hold, goddamn it, for 5,000 years. You see what I'm saying? And so right there, you see the development stage. You see the failures. And you can see the failures is in the South. And as they're coming down north, they're gathering, the knowledge. They're learning from their mistakes. You see what I'm saying? And you're not going to find a pyramid, a true pyramid, outside of Africa. Goddamn, everybody talking about they had some. Well, goddamn, you ain't keep none of the knowledge for yourself. Everybody talking about they had something to do with the pyramid. European, the goddamn Arabs, and the Indian. But goddamn, you can't find no pyramid outside of Africa. You gonna come into another man's land and leave the greatest monuments of the world, and you ain't gonna go home and do the same or do greater? That don't make no sense. You understand? When you look at any nation on the planet and you look at the greatest monuments of that people, it's always in the land of their origin. When you talk about the greatest monuments of Chinese people, the Great Wall of China is in China. That motherfucker ain't in Australia. It ain't in goddamn it ain't in Germany. The greatest monuments of a people is always in the land of their origin. When you talk about the greatest monument of the French people, the Eiffel Tower, it's in France. Okay? It's in France. It's not in Russia. It's not in Bolivia. It ain't in goddamn Peru. It's in France. When you look at the greatest monuments, even just say America, then you look at the Washington Monument, which is still, we ain't gonna even say that, you know, but you get the message. You never find the greatest. So how the fuck you gonna come into Egypt and build the greatest monuments of existence and don't do that in the land of your own origin? You see what I'm saying? Don't keep none of that knowledge for yourself and for your people. You understand what I'm saying? So we could cut all this, the lies out there, anybody, and that's why they quick to use the alien. That's why they quick to use the alien. They rather give it to the alien than give it to black people. Now, this is very important, and we getting where we need to go. So when you look at the pyramids, and these are pyramids, if you look to the left, you see Abu Wash, and that was one of Khufu's sons, Jetfrey. Okay, but Giza, then you got Zayed El Iran, Bashur, Saqqara, Dashur, Lis, Meidul, Hawara, Lahore. When you go up and see that the mountains in the upper lands, see, when you start talking about the upper lands, that's why they called it Ta-Netaru. I want to talk to y'all so y'all understand what I'm saying. See, they called it the land of the God because you got to, which I'm going to show you, got to look at the orientation of the African heavens. You got to understand that the Nile flowed down from the heavens, that the Milky Way is the celestial Nile. And so the Nile is flowing down out of the heavens. You understand? So when it's coming down out of the heavens, you got to understand that the mountains in Central East Africa are an extension of the heavens. That's why when you start talking about mountains, those are always seats to the gods, whether it be Olympus, whether it be you talk about a Sermon on the Mount with Jesus. But you got to understand that Jesus is the Son. You got to understand Moses went up on the mountain, got the 10 Commandments. Muhammad went up on the goddamn mountain and got some goddamn laws from some goddamn angel and shit like that. And so you got to understand that mountains have always been abodes of the God. And so when you go up into the interior of Africa, when you go back up the river, you're going into the highlands. And because you look at the constellations of Orion and the great star Sirius, which is even great amongst our West African family, which shows the connection to Dogon, Sirius A, Sirius B. You see that great star. This is oriented in the south. When you look, in order to see you have to look to the south. So our peoples was oriented to the southern hemisphere, the southern the skies of the southern, what they call the southern sky. And so when you start talking about the Milky Way, that's the southern sky. And so that's an extension of the Nile. You got to know that. And so what you got to understand, the gods sail from the heavens down out of the heavens on earth, coming into the southern region, sailing down into Egypt. Okay, selling into Egypt. That's why the one thing about our Holy of Holies, we always got that ark. You understand? We're in the interior. And as you come up in the temples, as you go deeper into the temple, it's going to be steps. You see, when you first come in, you're going to be at one level. And then you go up, usually you go up at least 2-3 steps. And that's taking you deeper up into the interior until you get into the Holy of Holies. And there you're going to find the ark. And this is symbolic of the southern region, the land of the gods, the birth of the gods. You see what I'm saying? And so what they was doing was read what they say, heaven on earth, heaven on earth. You see what I'm saying? So they were reduplicating in Egypt the south. The south. The pyramids are the mountains of the south, the abodes of God. And the ark, all the pharaohs had arks, and they were sailing back up the river into the Milky Way to be with Osiris, to be with Aset, to be with Osiris set in the constellations in the southern hemisphere. We know this to be correct. We got to quit letting these niggas sell us this bullshit. You understand what I'm saying? Talking about some goddamn aliens and shit. We got to be real about this shit. It ain't no you. No, we only teaching truth on this motherfucker and back it up with the smoke. You see what I'm saying? We gonna back it up with the smoke and let any guy in. So again, when you look at, you see Orion's belt, you see the Milky Way, you see the orientation. It's to the south. You can look down in the left. You see the south. You got to look to the south. So that's where our heaven was. It was in the southern hemisphere. That's the top. That's the top. That's the top. South Africa is the top. You see what I'm saying? So you look, and so when you to the left, you see even up in right around the great Lake Victoria. I'm at an hour. I'm gonna have to do an extension on this one too. I'm gonna have to do an extension. So when you look, you see in red, you see the volcanoes, and so that's what the pyramid. That's why they call the pyramid the house of fire. It's the volcano, and the volcano is symbolic when you talk about the four elements of creation. You talking about fire, earth, and water. And in the pyramid, you see that because you know, majority of the volcanoes are coming up out of some form of water. If you go into the Pacific, they got the Ring of Fire. You got all these volcanoes coming up. And when you look at Lake Victoria is a mountain lake. A lot of people not talking. That's a mountain lake. You understand what I'm saying? And so, you know, you got the volcano now. When you already understand when the lava come up, if it's in water, you got your water. Then you got that lava come up. You understand what I'm saying? That lava come up and hit that water. What's going to happen? It's going to create the steam. You understand what I'm saying? And once it cool, you got what? You got new land. You understand what? That's how the land come to be. That's how new land come to be. So in the volcano, you see all the elements of creation: fire, earth, air, and water. You see what I'm saying? And so that's showing you in the house of fire, the pyramid, which is actually the volcano. You understand? Showing the origin of God, showing the origin of creation. You understand? Showing that we came up out of the interior of Africa. And this is why they related in the symbology that this was the land of the gods. This was the land of the gods, and this is why every pharaoh had their ark, and when they passed on, their car would board that ark and sail up the Nile into the Milky Way to be one with God, to be with Osiris, and to be with Aset, to be with Ptah, and all the great gods of Africa. This is how, you know, the spirituality came to be, you see? And so, you know what? It's going to need a part two also. So we'll just come back the next, you know, couple lectures. I'm going to put it in there, and we're going to come back, and we're going to get even more heavy. I don't want to overload. An hour is good. You understand what I'm saying? To get, you know, for y'all to come back and do some research on what I'm telling you. And I'll be back Tuesday. I'll be back Tuesday, part two to both of these lectures. You know, I was on set, and I was on, you know, the great pyramid builders. We'll be back Tuesday to follow up on it, so we get it. So we get it like we need to get it, and we can move on. This is advanced studies, family. This is advanced studies. Okay, guarantee you. So when you know, do your research, go behind the general, do some, and then we'll meet up on Tuesday, and we'll go up on part two to drop, you know, the science of the great pyramid builders. This is the General Cyrus Seti. I want you to get on over there to kingseti.com, online marketplace. Do that. Go on over there and get you some. You know, I got some fly on there for the family. T-shirts, lectures, jewelry, tonic, herbal tonics. Got something even for the home decor, for the family, you know, for your living room, for your dining room. Go on over there and get you some. I got some hot dropping on Patreon, family. We're going to be doing the occult origins of COVID-2. There we go right there. Guaranteed. You understand? Going to be fire. Get on over there. Don't you dare miss it. I always keep some fire on there for the family. Get on over there. GeneralSeti.com. SETI University. 800 videos. Black Netflix. You got to have that if you're serious about your research. And then make sure that you subscribe to all my goddamn YouTube pages. Hit that subscribe. Hit that goddamn notification bell so you know when I'm going live, and like it because you love it. This is the General Sarah Soon Seti saying, hey, y'all motherfuckers know nobody do it better, baby. I do this shit. I live it. I live it, family. I live it. Because, you know, this is my soul. You know what I'm saying? You know, I do this from the soul. Nobody, I'm not, you know, I got a little guideline, but I do this from the soul. You know what I'm saying? I'm one with that which I teach. You understand what I'm saying? So, family, I love you. Thank you for being in the house. This is the General Sarah Soon Seti saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily. Liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.